All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin. What a game. I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, I'm happy we won and we moved into the semi-finals. That's fantastic. But honestly, I don't think that was a very good game from us. And Sheffield United probably deserves something in that second half, which obviously we'll get into. But before we get into all of that, obviously, thank you so much to the panel that always takes the time and comes into this and does this with me. So thank you for that. And obviously, massive thank you to the live chat. A lot more people come in and people watch later on. So kudos to that. Thank you for all your support. Let's get straight into it. Soccer Turtle is here. Arsenal's losing 3-0. Just a moment ago, I saw that it was 2-0. Now it's
3-0. Ziyech has just scored.
So, wanted a favour from Arsenal to take care of West Ham, but it looks like that ain't happening. And all of that talk about Arsenal under Arteta, they're getting better. Look, none of that. I didn't believe it. But anyway, that's a different story. Let's get straight into this. Before we get into all of that, Jonathan, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, save that chat for your new show that you've got, with everyone, all these other fans. We're going to talk about that epic game from Chelsea today. Yeah, it was a bit of a snooze fest. The main thing is, look, it's another clean sheet somehow. It's another win. We're in the semi-finals. That's, job done. That's all you can ask for. It wasn't the best of games. And obviously, we're going to dissect it and give our thoughts. I'm not going to read too much into it because I've just listened to Tuchel's press conference, which we'll go over. But happy with the win, not happy with the performance.
Absolutely. We're going to dig very deep into this particular performance and really try and dissect exactly what happened. But Taryn, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not too happy at all with that performance. But we're at the stage in the season now where, we just need to get through to the semi-finals, finals, just grind out wins. So we've seen that we can beat the best teams on the planet. So, for me, it's just about getting them wins and grind out results. And we did that today. But, it's not great. But, just look at the positive side. We're through to the semi-final of the FA Cup, through to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Doing well in the Premier League. So, everything's good. But, we'll go through the game a little bit more and see what kind of went wrong today.
Yeah, absolutely. RJ, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, good, Miz, and good to chat with you, Jonathan and Taryn. Just echoing similar sentiments. As I posted straight after the game, guys, it was one of those games where the most positive aspect was the result in the end, and I think that's the most simple way I could put it. As we'll say, we'll dissect it all, but just happy we're off to Wembley yet again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As you all have said, the positive is the result. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the lineup, and then let's talk about the match a little bit before we talk about the player performances and substitutes as well. I don't know if I was utterly happy with some of the substitutes, especially the Azpilicueta one, where I felt like Azpi made a lot of mistakes. I'll go to you, Jonathan, first up. When you saw this particular lineup, just from my perspective, we were sort of laughing about it after the Atletico Madrid game. That does Emerson get an opportunity here? Obviously, he did. He played in the left centre-back position. I kind of thought maybe Chilwell will play left centre-back position and Emerson in the left wing-back position. That's how I sort of read it in the beginning, but it didn't work out to be like that. Emerson, for me, started off okay, but in the second half, there was too many balls that was found just behind him, and Zouma had to clean it up many a times to help Emerson out. And then, I didn't mind, obviously, the Gilmour Kovacic pivot. I think Gilmour played pretty good. Then again, nothing extravagant, but I think he was all right. Kovacic was pretty good as well. Mason Mount, obviously, he was going to come into the team, not playing as Atletico Madrid. Pulisic, another one who didn't play against Atletico Madrid, and Giroud as well. Overall, look, Kepa, I expected him to start. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I probably expected him to start. Christensen, I wasn't really sure as to what was his case in regards to him being sick or not. Looks like he started. But how did you feel about that lineup, man?
It's difficult because I thought he would go a bit more full strength, try and win the game, and then maybe make some changes. Obviously, with the FA Cup, you're allowed to make 5. But it was a bit of a strange one. I guess he's given some peripheral players some game time because he thinks this is a game where he can afford that. Obviously, going into the international break, But interesting, and I've just put the comment on the live chat where I listened to press conference, and he said in the last few days in training, he felt that the players were tired and lacked a bit of concentration. And that showed today from the players on the pitch. And that sometimes happens when you make 7 or 8 changes, which is what happened. Obviously, the Chelsea admin on Twitter got it wrong about 3 or 4 times. So we're actually struggling to see what the actual lineup was. But yeah, I mean, Emerson at left centre-back doesn't really play there. And again, it was a bit of a makeshift defence today. And it kind of showed Chilwell not as comfortable at left wing-back. Yeah. Hudson-Odoi hasn't played right wing-back for a few games. But yeah, I thought Gilmour was one of the bright sparks. I thought he tried to make some incisive passes. There was a really nice one he put over the top to Hudson-Odoi in the first half. But yeah, it was Pulisic did try, got fouled a hell of a lot. I don't know how the referee wasn't just constantly in his pocket picking out yellow cards.
I can't believe that. He got murdered. Got murdered.
It reminded me of obviously when Hazard was playing for Chelsea and we were just, watching him go on the deck, and it's not good for players. We've seen now what's happened to Hazard. So, and with Pulisic having injuries and problems, I get why he took him off with 10, 15 minutes to go and protected him. So yeah, I get the lineup. I would have maybe gone a bit more full strength, but post-match, we've won the game. Tuchel's got another clean sheet. We've scored 2 goals. He just seems to get things right. Even when we don't play brilliantly, we get the result we need. So I think this is 7 clean sheets in a row now, which I think equals Chelsea's best ever. And 14 games unbeaten run.
We got away with the clean sheet there, though. We got away with that clean sheet.
I agree that. I mean, McGoldrick header, all of these chances we'll go into. But yes, we were lucky to get the clean sheet. But we're upset at a 2-0 win, and this is the standard Tuchel is setting. If we don't see a near perfect performance, well, what's going on? And that is a sign of a team that is shaping and heading in the right direction.
100%. Taryn, let's go to you, man. I don't want to dwell too much more with the lineup. Obviously, Jonathan and myself, we've covered that. But I do want to talk about a few areas of this particular lineup. First of all, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I'm not sure, Taryn, it started off like a revelation under Thomas Tuchel. Callum Hudson-Odoi as a right wing-back. I'm not really liking it anymore. I'm not sure if I'm getting enough from that position, especially this match. First of all, Callum, for me, did not have a very good game. And obviously, in the second half, late on, before he got substituted, he got moved on to the left side in the left wing. But then again, he didn't get much of a service, and Sheffield United were much better in the second half. I don't know. For me, that performance from Callum Hudson-Odoi, and there were a few passes where he didn't get. There were a few times where he, where he didn't make the run when players were looking for the long ball just behind the defense and he wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't really happy with overall that performance from Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I'm not sure if he warrants a start in the next match after the international break. Like, I want this player to go out there and kill every game like there's no tomorrow. But how do you feel about his performance, man?
I understand why he was put into the team today to kind of attack Osborne at left back. He's not an actual left back. He's a central midfielder. I thought Osborne had a good game today. I thought that Sheffield United kind of saw Hudson-Odoi as a potential defensive weakness in our side, that they can maybe put 3 or 4 players on that side to kind of overload. We saw Osborne get down there. We saw Bulldog getting down there. We saw McGoldrick trying to overload the hand side as well. So, yeah, I feel like Hudson-Odoi is built for games that we're in the front, and maybe we were today, but they really tried to come at us today. They saw this as their last opportunity of the season to, go somewhere significant. So, yeah, I feel like they were really trying to overload the hand side, and Reece James is maybe more suitable for games like that. And this comment as well, I did think it was like a training game. We didn't look up to it, and many different random positions. Emerson, not an actual sense back, but yeah, back to Hudson-Odoi. I didn't think he had his best game, and even when he was changed to a left wing, he just didn't seem up to it. And I'm not going to go too deep into this because we've seen many good performances by Hudson-Odoi under Tuchel so far. So if one game,
but do you think right wing back though? Like, do you want him to continue as right wing back or go back to his natural position, which is probably the left inside forward?
In this system, I believe that his best position is in the right wing back role. If it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, I believe that he can't play in a lone right back role in that position. As a right wing back, it is similar to Victor Moses in the sense that he's the player that's just, you pass to him, he just attacks that, he keeps driving, tries to create something, isn't really defending much. But when they are coming at us and they are there. It's just a weakness because Hudson-Odoi is not known as a very, defensive winger like Willian. And maybe under Lampard, that was one of the reasons why Hudson-Odoi didn't play much, is because, he's great going forward. But when it comes to that defensive work, we saw against Thomas Lemar, but consistently game in, game out, you don't see Hudson-Odoi, busting his gut. Yeah, Dendoncker as well. But he's not someone that you can rely on as a really good defensive winger. So, if I was Tuchel, I would have maybe changed it early in the second half. I feel like he did wait for James too long because you saw James against, Atletico Madrid, Everton. He's always there with his muscle, with his strength and his reading of the game to, step in and prevent them from bullying us really on the left-hand side. And I do really like Callum as a right wing back. I'm not going to lie. I really like the way he drives at players, the way he opens up spaces for, the overlaps with Azpilicueta. He leaves space for Mount. I do really like that, but I'm not going to go into one performance too much. If I consistently see, I don't know if you can name right now how many bad times he's played wing back for us, because I think this and 2 games max is how he's played bad. But today was definitely one. If I see consistently, he's putting in poor performances, then yeah. But from one game, I'm not going to get carried away. And I still really believe that he's suited for this role and he has all the abilities and all the strengths to suit it, in my opinion.
No, fair enough, man. Look, I liked him not that long ago. He played in the left inside forward. I can't remember exactly which game it was, but he looked so much better in that position as opposed to the right wing back. Yeah, he can do a job, but today I felt like he was just not reading a lot of the things. The runs, the dribbles were barely not there. I felt like when Pulisic came to the right side and sort of had that freedom in the second half, more in the central areas, was looking better. But we'll obviously get into talking about other player performance. I just want to bring this up. Obviously, Jonathan touched on this. Tuchel says Chelsea let Sheffield United into the match and adds, honestly, I could feel in the training. I could feel it in training in the last few days that we feel tired and lack a bit of concentration. It's great that we have a manager that is so open and keeps the fan base so informed about what is happening. Because off the back of that kind of performance, you start to question that. Well, what really happened? Was it a bit of a concentration lapse during the week, training and whatnot? And he clearly has come out and he said that. So we know this team can play a lot better than that. Ajay, I just want to touch on another spot in this particular lineup. Obviously, that one of Callum Hudson-Odoi, but also Emerson. I know this was just a makeshift for the time being, and Rudiger is obviously the left centre back. But Emerson in the left centre back, I don't know. I was telling you lads just before we went live that I thought it would have been Chilwell as left centre back, because I feel like Chilwell provides a lot more defensively, whereas Emerson is far more enterprising forward. So as a left wing back, I feel like Emerson could provide those goals, that opportunity up front. He's got that knack of doing that. Do you feel moving forward, if we are to give Emerson an opportunity, because obviously this is a cup match, I'm not sure if any of these players, Emerson's probably going to get another chance in the cup matches, because now the games are going to get much more serious and we're going to start seeing proper first 11. But if in the future Emerson does get an opportunity, do you want to see him play as a left centre back or more as a left wing back, and Chilwell perhaps as a left centre back?
Yeah, no, great points. And I think the whole Emerson in left centre back builds on a broader narrative that Tuchel is just trying to rotate for the sake of the big performance that happened in midweek against Atletico. And I think that's backed up by his statement about there was a little bit, not complacency, but that whole, it's hard when you go on such a high that you have a bit of a trickle off after such a momentous occasion. I don't think he's the left centre back role. What I will say is I think he's more defensively sound and capable than Alonso, but probably ranks behind Chilwell defensively. And there were a few occasions today, particularly in the second half, where they were playing balls in behind and over the top, and it had to be Zouma that had to come and bail him out. So I thought definitely going forward, if he is going to get some more minutes, left wing back. And I also made the joke that after he didn't score with his first touch, he should be subbed off, but that was obviously... I agree. Yeah, I don't think he belongs in that LCB spot, especially when we've got other more capable defenders that are performing at a really high level. That said, I think the left wing back today, or in Chilwell, I think he was low-key one of our more standout players. That might be a bit controversial to some, but he got the assist in the end for Ziyech. But I thought overall he battled quite well. He linked up quite nicely. But yeah, again, Emerson, not suited in LCB for me.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. There was too many times in the second half as well where the ball just went, over Emerson, and many times Zouma had to protect him. I just saw something very interesting from the Chelsea side. I want to go to Jonathan in regards to this. I want to bring this up. Give me 1 second. Let me just refresh this. It was quite interesting. The man of the match candidates that have been brought up. I find that quite strange. I don't think any of these deserve to be man of the match, especially, I wouldn't say Mount. I don't think he had a very good game at all. I thought he had an okay-ish game. Defensively in the first half, he looked very good. Second half, I don't even think he had any moment there. Zouma probably is there.
Interesting, isn't it, Miz, in the sense that list of players there, to me, just shows how confused and unclear the lack of standout candidates were overall. Like, it was almost like a lucky draw dip that they come up with these names. But
Yeah, Jonathan, from your perspective, what do you think about this? I just found this quite strange. Pulisic, Christensen, Zouma. Probably Zouma is probably the only biggest shout, but then again, I don't know if he's a man of the match sort of performance. I don't think anyone deserves to be man of the match, but what's your thoughts looking at that? Pulisic, Christensen, Zouma, Mount.
It's interesting. I had the same thought when I looked at it just before we came live, and I wondered where Gilmour was, because I thought, Gilmour was one of the I'd say the better players for Chelsea today. I thought Zouma, as RJ said and you said, cleared up for Emerson quite a few times. Was fairly solid in defence. I think he was by far our best defender. Pulisic got on the ball.
You know what? Just quickly, Jonathan. Sorry. Yeah. You know what? I just realised it probably should be Chilwell. I reckon Chilwell should have deserved the man of the match there.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Obviously, got the assist, I'd say, for the own goal quite nicely. Got the ball back into the box. And, another thing that I've said before the game, in Sheffield United, which we didn't take advantage of, in my opinion, we didn't get to the edgy area and try and get in shooting positions, because Sheffield United, again today, don't mark very well. They don't come out and press the ball. And that showed in Chilwell's goal, where he was allowed to just shoot unmarked, really. Yeah, I thought Chilwell was good. Doesn't offer as much attacking. Obviously, got the assist for Ziyech's goal as well.
I didn't notice that. He got that assist.
Quite a high ball into Ziyech. I thought he controlled it quite well, to be honest, because it was quite high. Got it down with his right and then managed to get it with his left. So, yeah, Chilwell was good today. I think Zouma was very solid, made up. Christensen doesn't look as comfortable in that right centre-back role. Emerson, quite a few people on Twitter have said he's had a good game. Quite a few people have said he's had a bad game. I'd say it was sort of in between. It wasn't great. Yeah. And I said Zouma did cover quite a few times. So, yeah, Gilmour was good on the ball. And Pulisic, I think he did well, kept getting fouled. When he went over to the left wing, I thought he had 2 or 3 times where he got on the ball well and cut inside nicely, took it past a few players. So in that position, he looked nice in the left wing position. But again, didn't affect the game. I don't think anyone was really as interested in him or as him in attacking today, because we just didn't look. We didn't utilise Giroud. We didn't utilise the space in behind. We didn't seem to want to run at players. So I think Pulisic wasn't helped by anyone. If maybe someone had been on his wavelength, he might have got a goal on an assist today. But yeah,
there's a really good comment from Andrew.
Yeah, momentum, 100%, and it's just. We just have this invincibility at the back. McGoldrick misses that chance. Brewster misses that chance. They try to create some pressure. But even still, I'm still thinking to myself, are we really going to concede? I'm not even that concentrating in the last 10, 15 minutes. I'm on my phone. I'm thinking we're going to win this 1-0 until the second goal goes in from Ziyech. So, yeah, man of the match is really hard to pick, because no one really stood out and took the game by the scruff of the neck, which we wanted to happen in a game where there was changes, in a game where we needed someone to just stand up and be counted. So, yeah, we just got through it because of our efficiency. But, if we had someone that went, I'm taking the ball, I'm running, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to cross, I'm going to, pass with intent, we would have got 3-4 goals today, in my opinion, because Sheffield United came out in the second half looking for that goal. And as we saw the second one, there was space in behind. So, yeah, disappointed. But again, I'm trying to curb my disappointment because it's another win. We're in the semi-finals. So it's like double, I'm trying to manage my
criticism. Trying to balance things up.
Yeah, I'm trying to balance things. I think we've praised a lot in isolation on some players. I think today, I'm going to criticise Hudson-Odoi a lot in isolation because I didn't think it was his best game. So, yeah, it's hard to manage. But, yeah, it's really hard man of the match. I think if Sheffield United had scored a goal, that would have been the person that got man of the match to get them back in the game. Yeah. So, it's not one I'm going to remember. I'm not going to, in 3 years' time, that amazing quarter-final we had against Sheffield United, 1-0 and 2-0, sorry. It wasn't great.
No, absolutely. Deep State, if I have to pick a man of the match, it would be Chilwell, even though it was barely a man of the match performance. Exactly. I think this is what we were trying to say here, that the picks that Chelsea admin has provided, I don't think any of them deserve to be
man of the match. Didn't have a good day, did he? Getting the lineup wrong, getting the man of the matches. So.
Is close to getting a sack, I suppose. Taryn, let's talk about, Jonathan did mention a really good point there, Giroud not being utilised properly. And I tweeted this at halftime as well. Obviously, Giroud playing in that position, this was more or less our predominant sort of lineup. Pulisic on the left side, Mason Mount on the right side. Obviously, Chilwell coming in, Cho coming in, Kovacic and Gilmour sort of, providing that support in the middle, and obviously sometimes Emerson would try and join in the attack. I just felt Giroud, I don't think we utilised him properly. I mean, I expected players like Pulisic to really link up with him when they got the ball, to really just give a quick pass, 1-2, give and go, and get the runs in this sort of positions. Because Giroud was I felt like he was mobile. He was mobile in these sort of areas, and he was coming deep. Mount as well, I thought he was going to link up nicely with Giroud. And Giroud allows for that hold-up and allows for players like Pulisic and Mason Mount to make those runs, and even Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, to make those runs on the side, because Giroud could just flick a pass on this side, and then all of a sudden Callum's free. I just felt like our team did not utilise Giroud at all, and he was just up front in isolation, and we were just trying to whip crosses when we could to him, and nothing was really happening. I feel like our team has forgotten some of the key factors Giroud brings to the game, like we saw last season. How do you feel the way we utilise him, or do you think Giroud probably didn't play well? What's your thoughts?
Well, for me, I'm sure it's a common fact that Giroud is the world-class player he is, like a World Cup winner, a very trophy winner, when he's playing as a target man and people are close to him on the second balls, bouncing off and playing 1-2s off him. That's when we see the best of Giroud. We don't see the best of him running the channels, as we saw in the game today. He was literally the player who was running the channels, who was creating spaces for players in the middle. That's not Giroud. That's Werner's game. That's Abraham's game. And Giroud is best when he's in a stationary position and he's there to release the pressure. He's always holding up defenders. Harry Maguire last year had nothing on him when Abraham and Batshuayi struggled. Giroud's always there, and he's always an outball. And today, again, in the earlier Sheffield United game under Tuchel, I really didn't feel like it was a game suited for Giroud anyways. We needed a pacey striker, I feel like, to counter-attack, play in behind, run the channels and create spaces. And Giroud's not that player. Giroud, we didn't see Giroud, against Atletico, because they were going to come onto us. We needed space in behind. And Werner, how well did he play that role against Atletico? That's why Giroud didn't play in that game. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I understand people saying that Giroud needs game time, but I don't see the point of playing him in a game where it's not suited to him. And if he's not going to play well, then he's not going to be in the team the next game. So if they were sitting in a low block today, and I feel like they were a lot of the game, but they were pinning us back at some moments, and they were sitting back with 10 men behind the ball. But when they weren't doing that, Giroud's not suited to that, and there weren't enough instances in this game where they were in a low block and we could just play off of them. I do feel like when Giroud did have the ball in the position that he likes to have it, that Pulisic and Mount were too far away from him, and that's not how Giroud likes to play. I thought an instant where Mount was literally on the whole left-hand side of the pitch, Giroud was in the middle, and Giroud just popped into Hudson-Odoi, who was right next to him, who passed it out of play. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it was due to fatigue today, I'm guessing, with Pulisic and Mount. I know they haven't played much, but I'm guessing training's been really intense under Tuchel. He said it that, when players come out of training, they should be tired. They should feel like they've learned a lot and they've got their work rate up and their stamina up. So, yeah, I do feel like it is a work rate thing. And, we have 2 weeks off in the international break. It's time for the players to recalibrate their brains, get a rest. The players who are staying home, Giroud, I'm pretty sure he got caught up by France. I'm not sure. But, yeah. it's annoying because when you see Giroud play really well, like in the Atletico game away, and he's scoring overhead kicks, that's his game. And then when you see him bad, there's fans who come out and say he's finished and this, that. But yeah, it's just about consistency again for Giroud. And he's not a player, as we said before, that's going to perform for 38 games of the season. That's what we're looking at other strikers to play. And for games in them clutch moments where he's going to come up and score an overhead kick, it's good. But when he's not playing well, it's really painful to watch because he just feels like he's, in my opinion, sometimes he doesn't look like he's up to it sometimes in the game. And today, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. It's really bad because I love Olivier Giroud and he's been amazing for us. But today, I don't feel like it was a suitable game for him. Timo Werner was built for this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how much, if it wasn't suitable. Yeah, I understand what you mean about Timo Werner could have done a better job, but I just feel like our team is not really linking up well with Giroud, and I'm not sure whether that's partly Giroud's fault as well. Maybe he's not showing up, or whether the instructions from Tuchel, I'm not really sure. But then again, look, it is what it is. But I feel like if that's how we're going to play with Giroud, then we might as well not play him and play with someone like Timo Werner, who has that burst of pace. And obviously, as RJ commented earlier on, when Kai Havertz came on in the second half, we looked a lot more better. Him playing as a false nine, and then him linking in midfield, and looked a lot calmer, as what RJ said. So, yeah, it's something to look out for, whether how much Giroud plays more in this particular side. Let's go to RJ. RJ, my man, let's talk about these couple of goals before we go into the player performances. Obviously, the first one, a whole heap of chaos. Let's just assume that it was more like this. Everyone sort of on this side, and then Chilwell just basically off the back of a corner, the clearance comes in and he just takes a punt. I don't know about you. As soon as I saw him take that punt, RJ, I just had this feeling that someone was going to touch, and whether it was going to be a Chelsea player or a Sheffield United player, I just felt like that was going in. And luckily enough, there was a own goal that happened. I mean, a deflected sort of shot that went in. What was your reaction? I just thought off the back of that goal, I thought we were going to, obviously Sheffield United would have to come out and we're going to have a lot more sort of space and the game is going to flow a lot more. But it didn't work out to be like that. What were your thoughts when that particular goal went in?
Yeah, I thought first up, and as I commented, it was a lucky goal. Let's face it. OGs, that's the nature of them being lucky. But as they say, you make your own luck. And I felt in the moments leading up until that goal, I thought we were creating some pressure. There were those half chances. We were starting to win back the arm wrestle after an early onslaught in which we were able to weather the storm. So it was a real credit to our boys to be able to absorb that pressure and start finding space and gaps, which led to the corner. And then as soon as Chilwell got the ball, a lot of the criticism he copped against Leeds was the fact that he wasn't getting in those advanced positions, or when he was getting in those advanced positions, he wasn't doing anything with it. So I felt like it was almost very Alonso-esque in the sense of he was in that range and just have a shot. And he did, because he's technically a strong player. He hit it well enough. I don't know if he was going in the corner or probably just a bit wide, but it just goes to show you the right decision in that instance was to hit it low on hard. And given the traffic that was there, that was always a possibility that someone could divert it into their own net. And that's exactly what happened. So I was very happy that he made that decision. But in terms of your question, what was going to happen after that goal, I agree. I thought that Sheffield's going to drop their heads, and it was up to us to use our next 5 to 10 minutes to really consolidate that lead and really put them to the sword. And that's been an ongoing problem, not just under Tuchel, but under Lampard as well. These one-goal leads always give me nerves. But what I will say is just quickly is that, collectively, we weren't good enough, as we saw, and we did get that nice second goal to put a bit of polish over that not-so-sensational performance. But I also got credit to Sheffield. They're a team that have absolutely terrible luck this season. They've played awfully for most parts, but they really made a fist of it today. And on the one hand, we were terrible, but on the other hand, partially attributed to the strong performance they delivered. So a bit of credit on their end, I've got to say.
No, I have to agree. And I expected that. I said it in my preview that Sheffield United's in a particular state where they're most likely going to get knocked out in the Premier League. They're going to get relegated, and they're going to come into this particular FA Cup game and give it their all. And they pretty much did, and probably deserved an equaliser before, obviously, we got that late goal from Ziyech. Let's talk about some player performances now. Jonathan, let's go from the back. Kepa, I felt Kepa had an okay-ish game. Obviously, a couple of shots from McGoldrick in the first half, long range. I felt like these Sheffield United players, as soon as they saw Kepa, they thought, long-range shots is in the cards, and they just kept on taking the punt. But none of them were penetrating. But in the second half, I feel that the three at the back, especially Zouma, I think he was getting frustrated with Kepa a little bit, where there was an incident where the ball was sort of bouncing along and Zouma wanted him to come out of the line and collect that, and he didn't, and then Zouma sort of cleared it. And off the back of that clearance, that created that header opportunity for McGoldrick that really should have got in. And I felt like Zouma was getting even more upset throughout the match, where a lot more crosses started happening in the second half from Sheffield United. And someone like Mendy, will come out and grab those crosses, and he's very commanding in the box, whereas Kepa, he does not want to do anything with the crosses, puts immense pressure on the back three as defenders to clear all of them. And when you have Sheffield players pushing into the box and trying to challenge for those headers, it makes it very difficult. It makes it very saucy for them to be in the game. So what do you think about that performance from Kepa?
Yeah, I think we have to understand, and the defenders do, that Mendy and Kepa are two completely different keepers. Kepa did well when needed today with saves. The one big chance they had, McGoldrick was unmarked. He's let down by his defenders. Maybe Mendy tries to come for that, makes himself a bit more, dominating his 6-yard box. But that's the thing. We can't expect Kepa to do something he's not comfortable doing. He's not that sort of keeper. And I think today there's a few times where Zouma cleared it off for a throw-in, or Emerson cleared it off for a throw-in, because we were sort of semi-expecting Mendy. Oh, wait, Mendy's not on the pitch today, and they've had to then clear it because maybe he'd come out, sweep up, they'd knock it back to him, he'd be a bit more comfortable on his feet. But yeah, Kepa's a different keeper, and he did his job today. Fair play to him. He got the saves when he needed, but yeah, we just have to get that, he's not that sort of keeper. And I think we've come so accustomed to having a keeper that just comes for everything, dominates, and can play little passes out with the ball. Sometimes we needed to almost do that, because when they did press us and we were a bit slow getting out from the back, we just needed the keeper just to, bypass their attack in their midfield, get it into Mount or Pulisic, something like that, or Hudson-Odoi on the right, Chilwell on the left. So that's where we lacked today. But again, that's not Kepa's game. So I'm not going to start criticising for something that, we shouldn't expect of him. And Thompson's right. The half time of the Man United game. So I think 6:30. I think the game's 5:30, 6:30. Yeah. We should know who we get. And that's, obviously where we work towards the semi-finals. I know that's off topic, but yeah, I think, Kepa did what he needed to do, but he's not Mendy. So
and you know what?
Reaction. Yeah, I mean, I think any keeper gets beaten by that McGoldrick when the marking is that bad, and you're not going to come out and get it. McGoldrick was a free header. I don't know about the other one where he got beaten today, though. Not quite sure.
You know what, Jonathan? That header from McGoldrick, and I don't know. I'm just sort of tossing it up there. I feel Mendy doesn't allow that. Mendy comes, because it was so close. Mendy comes out and tries to. He'll probably challenge for that ball, and that header doesn't happen. And this is the thing, what I want to throw to you lads, and I'll go to Taryn this time just quickly. Kepa, I don't even know if he's good enough to be a backup for us next season. And I know it might sound a bit harsh, but I feel like, Mendy for me is number one. There's no doubt about that. He's going to be number one for us for the remainder of the season and next season as well. But you need your backup keeper to come in and play those games, the cup games and here and there, when Mendy sort of is not going to, maybe rested. Keepers probably don't need that much rest, but sometimes it is good to have that mental break as well. But yes, we got a clean sheet. I'm not taking anything away from it, but I feel a bit scared when Mendy's in goals, and I don't feel our defenders are one bit confident, as I said in the second half. So do you think there is a case for someone like Donnarumma? And I've been sort of trying to stay away from it, but do you think there is a case for someone like, maybe not Donnarumma, but any other keeper to come in and be the second keeper, and maybe we just offload Kepa away?
Yeah, Miss, this is such a vast topic that literally could be a whole episode, but I'll try my best. I don't think Donnarumma is going to come in to be a backup. I think Donnarumma, if we do sign him, he will come in. I don't think we should have two goalkeepers of Mendy and Donnarumma standards competing like Henderson and De Gea. I don't think that's on. But Kepa,
it doesn't work.
For me,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, man. Yeah, for Kepa, I know it's not good to talk about price tags a lot on the channel and just compare players to price tags. But when we have a £75 million goalkeeper, a world record price goalkeeper on the bench, it's not going to do wonders for the confidence of the club, the defenders, Kepa himself. So I'm sure that when he plays, he's not playing to his full potential. And if he was a top elite mentality goalkeeper, he'd come in and be commanded. He would have caught that McGoldrick, the header. I don't know who crossed it in, I wasn't sure, but which chance he would have caught that. He would have been a bit more dominated. He's always trying to be vocal, but to me, he doesn't seem like he puts confidence into Zouma and Rudiger. When Mendy, they seem to be playing, more short passes out the back. And with Kepa, they're just kind of passing on to his right foot to just launch it upfield, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not good. I don't want Kepa to be our backup next season. I definitely want Kepa to be on loan or sold. And I don't think anyone's going to pay anywhere near close to what we brought him for. So it's an incredibly sticky situation. And, for me, it's just going on loan. Willy Caballero, I don't think he still is good enough to be our backup. Whether we go out and buy another goalkeeper, that's definitely not Donnarumma. It's not. It's a really difficult situation because I don't want Kepa sitting on our bench because, I really love Kepa for what he did during that season for us in Europa League. I'm a sentiment guy and I really there were penalties you say from Hintreg and other players. I'm never going to forget that. But for Kepa, I don't want him to be our club. It's not good for his mental health and other things like that. I think he should just leave. And I'm not saying I'm like a therapist or anything like that. But also with Caballero, I think he should. Yeah, we need someone to compete with Mendy, I guess. But with Mendy, I'm sure Kepa and Mendy are competing in training. And I guess that elevates Mendy's game. But I'm also expecting Kepa to be coming out and making some flying saves here and there and really showing to the fans that he is fighting for the place. So, yeah, I don't think Kepa is good enough to be. I don't think Kepa should be a backup. I think he is good enough to be digging a hole here. But I don't think he should be our backup. And, yeah, I think Caballero should be our backup. That's the most simple way to put it.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's something to think about next season as to, we do need, because I think there's African Cup of Nations as well. So Mendy's actually going to be missing for about a month, where we do need a solid keeper next season. I can see Jonathan's eyes lighting up. So, it is something to think about. It may not be something to think about now, but I think next season Mendy could be out. And God forbid, if there is an injury, we need a keeper that's going to come in and continue with all of these clean sheets. RJ, let's go to the next point. We kind of talked about Emerson at left centre back. Don't want to dwell too much on that. Let's talk about Zouma. I thought he had another outstanding game, backed it up off the back of the Atletico Madrid performance. Second half, honestly, there were many times if Zouma didn't help us out, I think we would have been dead. What were your thoughts, and especially also playing in the middle? I think he's starting to grow more in the middle. I didn't rate him in the middle that much. Obviously, today, again, he played in the middle and Christensen on the right. But what were your thoughts about Zouma's performance?
Yeah, I agree. He was outstanding. And I also agree in the sense of I don't really trust him too much in the centre of a 3. I think he operates better in a 4. But that said, after coming back from the Southampton performance, which, that brain fart against Minamino allowed that goal, I think he's come on leaps and bounds since then. Let's be honest, he's done really well. And I think just a more general point about players and positions, etc. I trust Tuchel now to pick the right player profile depending on the profile of the opposition. And I think this is just another example of Zouma and his natural strength, pace, aerial ability come in against a very equally strong, fast and hungry Sheffield United with plenty of motivation. I thought there was actually a microcosm of that was in the first half, you might recall, him and McBurnie just went head, shoulder to shoulder, and he sent lane, basically.
What strength, huh? What strength.
Strength from the centre back. I just thought, of course, there's more to it. You've got to have ball playing ability, especially in the back 3 system. But sometimes you just need to have that natural strength and composure. And I thought overall, like we said before, he bailed out Emerson a number of times. He did have that, communication issue there with Kepa. But I do think that's just a natural a natural consequence of when you're not used to playing week in, week out with the same goalkeeper. It's the same with any position. You need to have that inherent understanding. And Kepa is probably someone who's a bit more passive and timid, whereas Mendy, as you know, he'd play at the halfway line if he could. So it's just knowing your sort of your teammates around you. But overall, yeah, I can see why Chelsea picked him as one of the candidates as man of the match, even if I'm not sure anybody really deserved man of the match. But overall, strong display and encouraging for our prospects. And we'll see what happens in the off-season, because I think he was someone that only a few weeks ago there were question marks about his medium to long-term future. But those couple performances, including today, for me at least, put him right back in the conversation of hanging around at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to see that Zouma off the back, as you said, that Southampton, obviously Minamino goal, he fell asleep. I could probably give Azpilicueta a little bit of blame there as well. But since then, he's really stepped up, and it's good. We need all of these players to be always hungry, because you never know when the opportunity is going to come, and then you got to step up. It's funny. I was just looking at my Twitter page just then. A lot of people are having a go that Pulisic played really well. He got the man of the match. I'm not really sure how he deserves the man of the match, but yeah, that's for you guys to decide. Live chat, let us know what you thought about Pulisic's game. We will talk about that. I thought it was okay. I don't think he's man of the match okay. That's really dropping the performance level. Jonathan, let's talk about Andreas Christensen in the right centre-back position. I thought it was very good. A few times McBurnie was, not just McBurnie, McGoldrick was also trying to go around him. He really stepped up and used his strength well, won the ball back. And I felt comfortable when he was still there in defense with Zouma and obviously Emerson. But in the second half, as soon as he came off and Azpilicueta came on, I thought Azpi was having a laugh. He was sleeping. And I don't know, and I want to talk about this particular substitution with you as well, Jonathan. I don't know if that was necessary. A lot of people were saying if Christensen was fully fit. But then my question is, if he's not fully fit, then why play him? Why not just play someone like Rudiger or play Azpilicueta from the beginning? Because I felt if Azpi plays from the beginning, he's all right. But when he comes in sort of midway through the game, or when 60, 70 minutes have been played and then Azpi comes in, it's very difficult to get into the rhythm of the game and the pace of the game when Sheffield was really pushing. So talk to me about Christensen's performance and your thoughts about that Azpilicueta substitution.
Yeah, I thought Christensen was good. I think, because Hudson-Odoi was so far up the pitch so many times, he had to kind of cover the right wing as well, which did bring him out of a position, which is why I think Zouma did clear up well with Emerson and Christensen. So, again, it's not the position he's most suited to. I still think he's better in the middle. He's not played that position very often. And as I say, I think because he had to cover, it did just, take his concentration away a few times. So, yeah, I thought it was good today. I get why he came off around 60th minutes. I think Nishal was at the game, probably could tell us more. But obviously he was ill, and I think Tuchel wanted to make change, wanted to give him some minutes to try and rest Azpilicueta. But I get why he's brought Azpilicueta on to he's probably not felt very well, Christensen, all week. So, yeah, maybe you don't start him. Maybe you do play Azpilicueta from the start. It is a bit of a strange one. But, yeah, Azpilicueta came on. And, again, then James came on sort of simultaneously, and he was still quite far up the pitch. He was sort of wandering at times and sort of pressing in different areas. So, again, Azpilicueta was then quite isolated at times. And because they then, started to up the tempo, Sheffield United, and players like McGoldrick and Osborne on that left-hand side, who Osborne was one of the most persistent players all game on the left. So it was quite tough. Yeah. And then Azpilicueta to kind of manage that left-hand side of Sheffield United. So, yeah, it was tough. When Azpilicueta came on, they were trying to step it up, and he wasn't really at the pace of the game. But, yeah, it was a bit of a strange one from Tuchel. I think he can probably explain that one better to the media. But to me, I thought you're replacing a player who's been ill, Azpilicueta, and James, and then Hudson-Odoi, Christensen. It just didn't really work, the pairings today. Yeah. I think maybe Christensen and James would have worked better, or Azpilicueta and Hudson-Odoi. Azpilicueta is normally quite good one-on-one, but he just looked a little bit off the pace. So, yeah, it was a bit strange. I'd like to see Tuchel's answer. But again, we've got through it, luckily, with a clean sheet. So, yeah, it's a risk he's taken, and it's paid off.
Fair point. Yeah, I mean, a few people have said here that, or Thompson Jones has said that, remember AC was unwell early in the week. I get that. And if that's the case, then why not just allow someone else to come in and maybe give Christensen the break here. If he is capable of playing 60, 70 minutes, I mean, further 20 minutes is what is going to really affect him and get him injured again. I don't know. Look, that's for
maybe because he's thinking they stepped up and he even said we made mistakes. We were lucky to keep the clean sheet. Maybe he's thinking if I bring on Azpilicueta, another captain, someone who's going to try and march on the defence, maybe it was a move. It just didn't really pay off, I think. I don't think it really worked out. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It was, if you're fit to start, maybe they've said you're only playing 60 minutes and you're coming off. But it's one where if we were in the dressing room or in the circle, we'd understand the psyche. But when I've managed teams, youth teams, I've always been a bit careful with things like that, because if you're not quite ready, it did look at times where we just switched off at times. I'm not saying it was Christensen that switched off, but we just allowed complacency to kind of creep in throughout the side today. And maybe if you start as for the Twitter from the start, Jorginho's and wasn't even in the squad today, but someone like that who's just a bit more experienced, a bit more assured, someone who's going to dictate to players where they need to be, because it's sort of Pepper from my stream that I was listening to seemed to be the one barking. There wasn't too many other voices on the pitch. So you do miss players like that, vocal ones that aren't on the pitch. So yeah, it was maybe a ploy to help, but it didn't really pay off. Yeah,
and I feel like sometimes when you premeditate a few things, I felt like they premeditated that Christensen is going to come off at certain minutes. I feel like sometimes you just got to feel the game as well, where the game was going. And I felt like at that point, taking Christensen out, I don't know, but I get your point. Someone like Azpilicueta comes in, captain, a little bit more leadership maybe, but it just didn't work out. But that's fine. Taryn, let's get to the wing backs. Let's tackle them both together. Callum Hudson-Odoi, we talked about. We don't want to get into that. Obviously, people that want to hear about Callum Hudson, please check earlier in the streams. We talked about how Callum probably, Taryn thinks he still can do a job in right wing back. I feel like he's much more suited as a left inside forward. But yeah, that discussion we won't have now. Chilwell, Taryn, I thought, obviously we talked a little bit about how he should have been man of the match. Once again, I thought he had a decent game. Obviously takes that shot, got lucky, deflected in, obviously gets that assist for Ziyech's goal right at the end of although it was a long ball. But I felt very assured with Chilwell's performance. Defensively he looked good. Attacking-wise, it's not like he lights up the whole situation. He's not a barnstorming left wing back, that produces big crosses and overlaps and dribbles. He's just not that type of a player. But what were your thoughts about his performance?
Well, I'll kind of look at it from both sides of the spectrum, because I do think Chilwell was probably our man of the match today alongside Zouma. He was heavily involved in the own goal from... I always forget this guy's name. Do you know what? I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, he was heavily involved in that goal. Yeah, Norwood, that's the one. Thanks, Jonathan, youth coach. But yeah, great assist to Ziyech as well. It wasn't probably the best pass to Ziyech, but yeah, it was a great take and finish. And yeah, his defending was really assured. It's definitely going to help his cause in trying to break ahead and try and start more games in the Tuchel. But still, when it comes to Chilwell, we signed him. The way I know Chilwell is you pass him kind of similar to Reguilon. You pass him and he's trying to take on players. He has a huge engine to him, and he has the ability to drive past players, create overloads. But when Chilwell has the ball, he's always looking backwards, and I don't like that about Chilwell. I think he has it to go forward. There's a confidence issue with Chilwell. He's either passing it back to left centre-back, even when the space for Gilmour in the middle, he's still kind of passing it backwards. So, yeah, it's a bit frustrating to see Chilwell doing that. But I really wasn't feeling the link up on the left-hand side for the left centre-back and the left wing-back today anyways. I feel like when he changed, put Christensen right centre-back, we usually have one centre-back that's quite progressive and one that's quite conservative, like Azpi kind of makes overloads usually, and Rudiger's kind of, holding back. But today, Emerson and Chilwell, the dynamic was not working for me. You pass on Chilwell's left foot, and then it's basically the same two players behind each other, similar attributes. So for me, that really was not working the left-hand side. And if he had, Hudson-Odoi left wing-back, I feel like it would have worked much better. But yeah, Chilwell definitely, I thought he really played well today, and he was probably the standout player on the pitch in a really bleak performance. And even if you are the man of the match, it's going to do wonders for your confidence and for the manager selection. So I'm happy for Chilwell. But yeah, still, I want to see him going forward more. It's really frustrating because, Miz, we've had this conversation on YouTube comments before that, other left backs, Alphonso Davies, maybe he's much quicker than Chilwell. Reguilon, he takes on his players. And Chilwell, we know, we've seen that at Leicester. He can drive past players. He has the pace. He has the agility. He has the strength to show his skills, but he just doesn't do it enough. And I want him to, because Alonso is a player that passes backwards quite a lot, I feel. And when you put Chilwell in, we paid 50 million for him. He should be the player that should do that. And I hope he can get better. But today he was probably the best player on the pitch. So I guess I'm being a bit harsh, but I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from, is that...
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100% understand what you're saying. First of all, WorldwideChels back again. How you doing, my bro? What's happening?
All right. Here we go. Back again with the other side of the coin. Everyone like the video, man. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Big up, Taron. Not spoken to you before. Good to see you, bro. RJ, I've never actually spoken to you before, so we've been interacted a few times. And Jonathan, as always, love the guy. Your hair's grown, bro.
Oh, mate, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
I just want to say hello, Miz, man. I just want to say hello quickly, innit? Because I haven't been on for a while. I was going to hop off anyway, but yeah, I'll just give one quickly.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. But are you going to stick around or are you going to go?
I got a dip. I thought, you know what? I just seen you go on live. I ended my stream early just to leave, but I just saw you. I wanted to say a few things.
Fair enough. Give us your thoughts before you go.
Yeah, what's your
what
thoughts,
do you think
man?
about that match?
Best game of the season. Just quickly, Arsenal. I want the Arsenal comeback first of all. I want a 3-3 draw at least. It's 3-2 now, which is
those guys are rubbish. Huh? I mean, I thought they were going to do us a favor and knock out. Oh wow, it's 3-2. Okay,
yeah, so that's what I said.
2 own goals.
Yeah, they'll get a documentary inbound. I'm sure about it.
As long as we get a 3-3, it'll be a nice result overall, man. But I think Pulisic played okay today. He was missing that goal.
By the way, did you see the man of the match selections from the Chelsea admin? Did you think any of them were man of the match? There was Pulisic, Zouma, Mount. Mount was one of the man of the match selections. And I think it was Pulisic, Mount. Who else? Let me have a look. Zouma, Mount, Christensen, Pulisic.
Zouma, Pulisic was okay, no?
Zouma was definitely okay.
Pulisic
second half was good. But Chilwell not in there? Like, I feel like Chilwell at least deserves to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been in there, definitely.
His shot got that own goal. Then his assist for Ziyech's goal in the second half later on. Defensively, he was pretty good as well. So I found that very strange. But yeah, go on, bro. What else did you think about that match?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's tiredness or no chemistry because of 9 changes today. It might have just been because of 9 changes and we're not used to it. What did you guys speak about the lineup mistakes from the admin?
Yeah, we spoke about it. Admin's having a bit of a laugh today, man. I don't know what was going on there.
Bro, the second time he got it wrong and they got the bench wrong, I think it was. They put Mendy Cavallero or something on the bench.
He put down as captain as well, I think.
Yeah,
someone did not give the admin the right information, but yeah, man. WorldwideChels, thanks, bro, for coming along. If you need to go, bro, and head out and have some Nando's, do that. Have some Nando's for us. Bring some Nando's for all of us if you can. But yeah, bro, thank you for joining me. Yeah,
take care, you lot, man. See you soon. Take care.
See ya, bro. Jonathan, let's talk about... I just want to quickly touch on the whole Chilwell part, what Taron was saying, which was quite important. What I want to see Chilwell is that shot that he took just outside the box. I want to see more of that because he gets that opportunity just outside the box to unleash, and I want him to unleash because... And those are the positions that he should be occupying, just in around there, maybe sometimes just... This is the thing that Alonso does well. He gets into those areas and he takes the shots. That's what you want to see from a left wing back position, but that's a little bit about Chilwell. John, let's talk about the double pivot now of Gilmour and Kovacic. I thought Gilmour had a very good game, man. Nothing too fancy, nothing too bad either. He did all the simple things good. He drove when he had to drive. He looked for the passes. I think he had a neat game. Kovacic as well got fouled a lot of times, just like Pulisic, but got out of the press nicely. What do you think about that particular pivot combination?
I don't think they've ever played together, and it did show at times because there wasn't really one holding, one sitting, one kind of going forward. Kovacic didn't drive as much as he usually did today. yeah, I just felt like the team was a bit imbalanced, and the midfield, we didn't really ever just take the game by the scruff of the neck and kind of go, right, we're getting on the ball. I'm putting the ball here. You need to hold. You need to, as I said earlier, you need to sit. We need to intercept. So I get why he brought Kante on to kind of just sweep it up in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, I thought Gilmour was good. As I said, he tried to get on the ball, tried to move it quicker, trying to make forward passes, which is what I wanted to see. I would have liked to try and see him get the ball into Giroud's feet so he can then turn and allow others in. But we've talked about Giroud earlier on. So I think, yeah, Gilmour did try, but there just wasn't enough on his wavelength today. So, yeah, it was a tough game for him to suddenly come into. He hasn't played for so long. Maybe he would have been better with like a Kante or Jorginho that would have been a little bit more happy to sit. He could have drove forward a bit more, expressed himself. But yeah, he came in, did a good job. And Kovacic, he's always fairly solid. I just wanted to see him take on a few more players and drive at the heart of that Sheffield United defence because, there was space and there wasn't really one in the hole for Sheffield United at times. So yeah, it was job well done in the sense that we got the win. But it wasn't if they had have got someone in that number 10 role in behind because they were very winger heavy. They've got Bogle and Osborne on the wings. They've got the two strikers. They never really had anyone in that hole. And if they would have had, I think we would have struggled today at times because we never had anyone in there sort of cleaning up. And there was times where I said Zouma was a bit, static, I think. And in terms of our movement today, it wasn't very good. So I feel like
I don't feel it was organised either all the time. We weren't always organised like always have been recently.
Yeah, Matt Ball's just made a good comment saying was there too many changes today. Maybe it was in a completely different midfield and obviously defence and forward. It just kind of, and WorldwideChels said it, that chemistry is a key word because we just didn't really look like we're on the same wavelength today. So it was a hard job for the midfield to take control of it. But yeah, we got the job done, as I said. So yeah, I don't know how many more games Gilmour will play this season. Be interesting to see maybe if he's used as a third player in certain games, maybe against the weaker teams. Maybe you could bring him on as an option for someone to kind of drive the balls in to Havertz's feet or Giroud's feet. But I touched on it earlier as well about Tammy Abraham. I put a comment quite a long time ago, way too long for you to find out. But, Nishal's at the game. Obviously, he was listening to Tuchel when he was saying that, he was in pain. He had about 5 minutes of training and maybe today was the game for Abraham because he would have dropped a little bit deeper, willing to move across the front line. Maybe that would have worked because we just, as we've said earlier, did not play to Giroud's strength. So again, if they'd have dropped deeper, Gilmour and Kovacic would have had someone to pass into it and play off. So yeah, there's so many reasons why it didn't really click today. But I think Tuchel will know that in his head. It's kind of like a game where he just wanted to get it out of the way because of what's happened in training this week. So yeah, job done. And now we've got 2 weeks now where some players are going international break, some players are not. Mendy's having a tooth operation, so he's not going to go. So hopefully he has a tooth operation, early January next year so he doesn't go to the AFCON. So
absolutely. So he doesn't go to AFCON. We had nearly 50 people on just a moment ago. Thank you heaps. Massive shout out to the live chat for always supporting. Please smash that like button and continue giving your thoughts and comments. RJ, let's talk about Mason Mount. Obviously, he got the captaincy for this game. The fan base was elated. I was ecstatic as well. Second time he's captained Chelsea. It's clear to see he's going to be the future sort of captain for this particular team. He's got that mentality. But today's performance, first half, there were a few moments I was very happy, especially his defensive work rate, how he drops deep, helps out the defense, wins the ball back. He wins possession back very nice. He uses his strength really well as well. But once again, when moving forward, and let's be honest, yes, I love the defensive part of Mason Mount's game, but today was a game where I needed a lot more from him in the final third, in the midfield area, where he looked busy, but his end product was just not there at all. He wasn't finding the passes properly. He wasn't attacking the box either to help out, with Giroud, and we've already talked that. He wasn't linking up that much with Giroud either. And then second half, to be honest, I didn't even pay too much attention to him. I don't even know if I've even noticed him in the second half. And then obviously he gets substituted off. I'm pretty sure he got substituted off in the second half. But yeah, what do you think about his performance, RJ?
Yeah, no, let's set the record straight. This wasn't his best game, and I think that's a function of when you're performing at an 8.5, 9 every week for the last X amount of months. The minute that you dip below that, you're going to come right under the microscope. So I think I wouldn't say he delivered a bad performance, as we said. I think it was just the fact that he was probably more of a victim of overall, collectively, we just weren't up to scratch. And I think there's only so much one player can take a team and carry it on their shoulders and he's done that a few times this season. And unfortunately, today, when he was the captain, he didn't deliver the carry the team on the shoulder performances we have seen. I dare say, had some of his forward teammates and winger players given him a bit more assistance, we probably would have seen a bit more from him. But also, he needs to take some accountability here as well. I thought he had some bright moments and done a couple little flicks here and there and did some good things in the attacking sense, because you know he's always going to deliver the effort. He's going to run the hard yards. He's going to give you that captain sort of knock. But I agree, a couple of those opportunities, let's call it, or some of those final balls, they just weren't really finding the intended target. But I also think it's a bit of a function of those around him also not making the right run or linking back with him as well. So I think for him, if you had to put a sort of a number rating 1 to 10, I'd give him around a 6.5 or 7. Like, I thought he was good, not great. He did enough of the basics, but I agree he didn't really impose his normal high standards. And I think if anybody, he will probably be the most self-critical of himself, given that this was a special occasion for him. But it's nothing. It's not a cause for concern. It wasn't a terrible match, but it's just, again, when you're used to performing at such a high level for so long, the minute you dip below that incredibly high standard, it's something that people take notice of, unfortunately. But he'll bounce back, no problems.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Jonathan, you just need to dip out for a little bit, no problems. Just come back when you're ready, yeah? Cool. Taryn, let's talk about Christian Pulisic. But just quickly, RJ, you're right. Look, it's nothing concerning about Mason Mount, but it's more the fact that, as you said, you know, he's been so prolific in most of the recent games, especially under Thomas Tuchel. I just thought today with the captaincy he'd be buzzing, but it just didn't work out. But that's fine. We've got the international break coming up. Relax, chill. I think he'll probably play for England anyway, so I'm not sure how much relaxing he's going to get. But hopefully he comes back, not injured and fit. Taryn, let's talk about Pulisic. A lot of people want to talk about Pulisic. Let's talk about Pulisic. I felt in the first half, and I tweeted this, I didn't like his performance in the first half one bit. I felt like, you know, everything that we sort of saw from him last season, you know, his one-on-one abilities, his ability to be very decisive, his goal-scoring abilities, nothing was sort of coming off in the first half. In the second half, it got much better. He woke up. His dribbling in the second half was looking good. That nice little trick he did in the second half where he beat 3 players, but then his shooting let him down. You know, someone with a better shooting technique would have just drilled that shot right across the keeper and would have scored that and would have looked so good dribbling. It would have been like Hazard-esque, you know, beating all those players and then drilling a shot and getting that goal. I don't think he was man of the match, though. I do not think he was man of the match. I don't know what people are going around saying he was man of the match. I thought he had a much better second half. I can't forget that first half. What were your thoughts about his performance?
Look, I saw glimpses of Pulisic, his old self post-lockdown in the first half. I saw him get into the central areas and trying to, you know, weave 3 players, trying to create something, trying to have a shooting opportunity. But it's not quite working for him at the minute. And, you know, when you haven't had a sufficient run of games, you can't expect to be the best of your abilities. You know, post-lockdown, when he came in, I'm sure when it was like 2 months without football, I'm sure he was every single day getting his fitness back up, you know, proper building up to the first game of the season. He came in against Aston Villa, scored the equalising goal, and then from then onwards, he became absolute animal. And for right now, I know Pulisic's going to be class, and I do feel like Sheffield United, Jason Tindall and Higginbottom told, you know, the Sheffield United players, this guy is an injury-prone player. He's not really at scratch, so, you know, go a bit hard on him. I feel like that was said. So you saw many fouls in the first half. They were targeting Pulisic to try and floor him, to try and ruin his rhythm. And that maybe did rattle him.
They did not get a yellow card for some of those challenges, because they were nasty challenges, bro.
Yeah, the thing is that, you know, they weren't always the same player, and I feel like they were kind of distributing the bad fouls around the team. So, you know, there was just not yellow card challenges. Some
It was
of
a
them were,
plan.
but
It was a plan.
yeah, it was a plan, 100% a plan from Tyndall and Heckenbottom, as I said. But yeah, but I don't think Pulisic should be. He's an elite mentality player. He should not let that rattle him. You saw Hazard. How many times did he get floored and he got back up and went past 4 players again and just banged it top bins against Liverpool? You know, like that's what I want to see. But obviously, this is Christian Pulisic. I don't like to compare him because he's not Eden Hazard yet. I'm not sure he will ever be Eden Hazard. So I don't like to compare him to one of the best players in our club's history. But we have seen glimpses of it. And the fact that we are comparing him to Eden Hazard this early in his Chelsea career is just hats off to him and credits to him. And for him to get back up to match fitness is going to be crucial, I feel, for him to have a sufficient amount of games. I know I don't really like Tuchel coming out and saying that he's played with him and he knows he's a bench player, he's an impact player, because I'm sure you don't want to hear your manager saying that, you know, you're better off the bench and you come into games like some kind of super sub, some kind of, you know, player who's not good enough to start. I don't really like to hear that. And from Tuchel coming in, I was expecting, you know, the Borussia Dortmund chemistry between them two, more starts. He knows how he likes to play as on a personal terms. He knows how he likes to be at training. So I was expecting a bit more, let's say, chemistry between Tuchel and Pulisic. But it is disappointing to see. The second half, I thought he was really good. Jonathan came back to it that, you know, a few instances where he was playing left forward, he got the ball. And, you know, the Pulisic of last lockdown is going to explosively drive and have a shot, challenge a keeper, ping it to Giroud, ping it to somebody. But there is some kind of fear about him. And it's really hard to kind of pick out. There's many factors. I said it could be fitness, match fitness. It could be match sharpness. It could be maybe, you know, he's competing with about 4 or 5 players in that position, his mentality, as RJ cleverly just stated. But there is so many things that could be a factor. And I don't like to kind of dig and say, you know, Pulisic's my favorite player. I love him so much, all that blabber. But, you know, I really do. And I know what he can do on the best level against hard opposition. Last year, we saw him against Man City. Benjamin Mendy and Ilkay Gundogan were in, just absolutely destroyed. And Edison, that finish, it's just superb. And yeah, we need a goal and assist from a really crucial goal. We saw the assist against Emerson on Atletico. But if he scores a goal, I feel like the goal against Aston Villa post-lockdown, what did that do for him? Man City, Crystal Palace.
It just triggered off an amazing run.
Captain America, literally from the Avengers, turned into him. So, yeah, that's what I kind of want from Pulisic. And, yeah, I didn't feel like he was that bad today. There was a reason he wasn't our top 3 players. But, you know, what we expect from him is much more than that. And still, he's not up to fitness and sharpness. But, yeah, we will see Pulisic soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 3-3 Arsenal. Well done, Arsenal champion. Excellent work. This is exactly what we wanted.
The lads in my group chat are going to be so cocky, man. It's actually bad.
I mean, after being 3-0 down, 3-0, go out there and win it and absolutely just take care of West Ham for us, because that would mean the top 4 will be nicely secured for us. So that's a great news. Obviously, us going into the semi-finals in the FA Cup, that becomes a cherry on top. RJ, let's talk about Hakim Ziyech. For me, this boy, you know how much I love him. Everyone knows that. I'm glad he got that goal again off the bench. He looked quite good. You know, came off the bench, looked very lively, pressed well, and much deserved that goal off the fantastic counter. I'm starting to like how we have that ability to counter quick, and Hakim Ziyech being part of that counter is really, really helping us out. Obviously, against Atletico Madrid, he was there right at the end of that great movement from Timo Werner, and Ziyech tracked that run. You need players to track runs as well, and he got himself that goal, albeit a bit scuffed, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'll take it anyway. And this one as well, nice long ball from Chilwell. He goes in and then, you know, smashes the shot in. Fantastic. Gets us that second much needed second goal to ensure that we go into the semi-finals. Do you think the confidence is slowly building for this player, and it's just about time in the business end of the season where a key player like Hakim Ziyech is coming into fruition slowly by slowly? I mean, how much would that mean for us for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, the moment that he connected and went in, you could just see the elation. You could see how relieved he was, because he did score that decisive goal against Atletico. But I think many people will argue that it wasn't the best of efforts, and Oblak probably should have done better. But that was a very good connection, and the fact that he's been able to back up that goal with this goal after coming on for a very short space of time, that will do him, and I dare say us, the world of good to see that he's had a smile on his face, because like you said, Miz, and rightfully so, he looked lively when he came on. My concern with him recent games prior to these two is that when being called upon, he didn't look his usual buzz himself, and I think the players, they weren't giving him much of the ball, and he was losing a couple of simple passes and just looked a little bit of not his usual confident self. But scoring 2 goals in 2 games, especially after a very short cameo, I think that could be, hopefully, touch wood, the start of seeing a player that we signed from Ajax and could be a real X factor heading into the business end of the season. So, look, overall, I felt he's got a big role to play in this team, given the fact that we've had our struggles to really try to assert ourselves offensively. And just on the type of the goal we scored, you said a quick counter-attack, and someone brought it up earlier in the feed, is that while we tend to dominate the matches, we dominate possession, we dominate territory, the reality is a lot of our goals have been coming from set pieces, OGs, or now even those quick counters. So I'm actually liking the fact that we're able to have a different type of threat rather than just dominate the ball and hopefully find a breakthrough that way. So, overall, Moroccan magicians back, please.
Absolutely. Let's start slowly wrapping this up. We pretty much covered, all the main players that we wanted to sort of go through. Jonathan, let's talk a little bit about Thomas Tuchel and where we are. It's a good time to have a quick conversation before we go. Arsenal, by the way, 3-3. So looks like
I just caught the goal downstairs. I can't believe it. Great result for us so far.
So it's a massive result. Hopefully they can hold on, and if they go on and beat them, that'll be even more fantastic. To be honest, takes care of West Ham. How do you feel? International break, semi-finals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Champions League, top 4 more or less. We've got some good stretch of games coming up where we should be winning. How do you feel as a fan?
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain right now. I say we're getting upset about a 2-0 win in the FA Cup, which takes us through to the FA Cup semi-finals. So he's clearly raised the standards. I think Tuchel, even when he makes mistakes, we've drawn games, and I think even today he'll probably hold his hand up and say he didn't quite get the players ready. I don't know if the amount of changes in the lineup was right, but we needed a job done. We needed the win, and that's what we've got. And under Tuchel, we just look efficient. We look confident. Defensively, we look so solid. Even with changed personnel today, I said another clean sheet. So we can't really complain too much under Tuchel. We're going in the right direction. We've got another chance, obviously, to get into the semi-final in the Champions League against Porto. So, top 4 is in our hands, especially if West Ham can draw today as well. That gives us a nice cushion. So, as I keep saying, he's a breath of fresh air. And I just love his honesty.
Honesty, I was just going to say,
exactly.
How honest is he?
It's the honesty. I'm listening to the interview after the game, and, he's pretty much explained the reasoning and how he feels the players. And he's sort of seen that lack of concentration and mentality wasn't right. And I'm sure he's going to nip that in the bud after the international break. Quite a few players aren't even going away. So I think he's going to have a little bit more time on the training pitch with players like Werner and Havertz.
So needed.
Yeah, the German players don't look like they're travelling. A few others that haven't been called up. So, I can't speak too much more highly of him. I just think he will adapt us continually. He will make us even better. We haven't even got a goal scorer yet. We haven't got a consistent creator that's, putting things on a plate. There's so many ways we can increase not just the mentality, because we're heading in the right direction in that respect, because we're assuming every time we get on the pitch, we feel like we're going to win. But it's just the efficiency all over the pitch. I feel like he will improve that. So, every time I talk about him, I'm pretty happy. So, can't complain.
No, 100%. I completely understand. Taryn, from your point of view, yet another clean sheet, yet another milestone of getting into the semi-finals. As I said, quarterfinals of the Champions League. Porto, a very favourable draw. Yes, we should still respect them, but once again, still a favourable draw. Since he's come in, now the international is there, and it's perfect time to just relax, take it all in, what he has done. and really build on that once the international break is over. How you feeling at the moment about the whole situation?
Well, I think that the one instance that kind of summed up Tuchel so far is that McGoldrick headed that was so destined to go in. But since Tuchel's come in, we've had some good energy about us. That teams are dropping points. We're picking up wins. We're finding out results. We're keeping clean sheets. And yeah, it's been a really, really stunning start from Tuchel. One of the best starts I've seen from a Chelsea manager in years. Like Jonathan said, I think on the Let's Go stream, Maurizio Sarri is probably the closest one that's had this impact. But yeah, amazing. Just an amazing start from Tuchel. A great defensive solidity about us. The attacking fluidity will come later on. Today was just, I think it was a one-off. That was probably one of the worst attacking performances I've seen under Tuchel. But yeah, it will happen. I'm really happy with what's going on in the club at the minute. And this international break, we could say it could be crucial for time, but we can't let our momentum dip after the international break. We saw the last international break we had Sheffield United at home in the last game.
Yeah.
We came back and we didn't look ourselves. So I feel like when he comes back, Tuchel needs to sit down with the players and say, yeah, you've had some bit of time off and we've had some time to, gel together. That Havertz and Werner, them players who are off. But we need to keep up this form because this end of the season is going to be so crucial to finishing in the top 4, making a strong push in 2 huge competitions. So, yeah, we can't let our heads drop. But, yeah, I think it's going to be really important to have some time. We've had a really packed schedule. Every 3 days we've had a game. Every 3 days we've had a crucial game that matters, We have Everton, then we have Liverpool, then we have other games. We have Man United, then we have Atletico, then we have Liverpool. So
it's been insane. Yeah, it's been insane.
It's been an insane schedule, and it's definitely needed to have some time for the players to have a few days off, have some time, not intense training all the time, a bit of fun on the training ground, I guess, with Tuchel to get to know him a little bit better as well. Some of the more fringe players. So yeah, I think it is both sides of the spectrum, but I'm looking at more on the positive side. That is time to rest, but like I said, we can't let it get to our heads too much. I'm not a Chelsea player, but I'm talking to the Chelsea players that they can't let it get to their heads a little bit. But yeah, it's all looking good at the minute, Miz. And since I've come on this channel, we're unbeaten as well. So it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I don't know why Thomas Tuchel hasn't come to my house yet and shook my hand. So I'm just like, it's mad. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the content during the week. If you are having any international break content, Miz, always great to be on with RJ. I love to be on the channel with RJ, streams, everything like that, podcast. Jonathan as well. Thanks for always being a great co-guest on the streams. And Miz, thanks for me on. But I don't know if I'm going to get an outro. That'd be so awkward if I get another outro. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Miz. And yeah, have a good day, guys.
No, absolutely. I know you got to get going, so you might as well. That's your outro. Guys, please follow Taryn. I've got all of his socials in the description, so please go out there and follow. So yeah, we'll let you go, Taryn, and we'll wrap things up.
Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.
RJ, I'll let you finish things off here. From your perspective, obviously, lots of happy things that has happened since Thomas Tuchel has taken over. As Jonathan said, even though we're a little bit mood is a bit down off the back of that performance, but let's be honest, we still got through 2-0 and another clean sheet, and we just need to keep riding this. We're not always going to play fantastic football, but it's important to keep getting these results, and I think we're doing that. How important is this international break to just basically give the whole team a bit of a breather?
Yeah, first of all, I suppose the macro summary would be in the great words of Dom Toretto, winning's winning. We can't always play fantastic, but 3 points, or in this case, progression to the semi-final is all important for the confidence boosting heading towards the back end. In terms of international break, though, on one hand, very positive to reset, recharge, and make our final charge for the remainder of the season. But I suppose the other side of the coin, if you want to call it that, is that I really want, and fingers crossed, collective Chelsea community here, we want a clean bill of health. We really need our players to come back fit and firing, because even though we've been able to rely on the broader squad, which has its benefits both this season and next season, if this international break hasn't been kind to us previously, so touch wood, which I'm doing right now, they come back and feel ready to fire, because we're going to need the whole squad, given that it's the real business end of the season. Long may our good form continue, because the Tuchel train remains firmly on track to achieve some big things this season, or some good things, I should say.
Absolutely. Well said. Let's wrap things up. I think the match is over between Arsenal and West Ham. Is that right? Is it finished? 3-3. So there you go. What a little gift from Arsenal. Thank you so much for taking care of West Ham a little bit there. Obviously, we've got Aston Villa, Tottenham coming up. Hopefully, I don't really care if it's a draw or it doesn't really matter. I don't think Spurs are in the mix. West Ham definitely were in the mix, so it's good to see that they've dropped points. And I'm pretty sure they've now dropped points against Man United. They lost against Man United. Now they've dropped points against Arsenal. So I think, and they've got some really other big fixtures coming up. So I don't think they're in the mix of it. Everton are going around losing to Burnley, so I don't think they're probably should be taken too seriously either. Spurs are in a bit of a mud. So it's really up to us, boys, to really take care of matters once the international break is over. And as I said, we've got a stretch of games now in the Premier League where it's very much winnable. Really, really need to see, as RJ and both Jonathan said, post the international break, hopefully all the players come back safe, injury-free, no pandemic issues and whatnot, and lockdown and being, isolated and all of that. Hopefully none of that. And that the momentum continues, because we have seen previously the international break comes, the momentum sort of breaks, and then the team sort of finds it very difficult off the bench. So hoping Thomas Tuchel, his experience will guide us through in the next phase. So guys, thank you heaps for joining us in this particular review. Off we go to the semi-finals, and a lot to see after the international break. So until next time, everyone, take care and see you.